I'm chatting today to Johan Oldenkamp.
Hi Mark, thanks for inviting me to your show.
No problem, man. Good to have you on. We met, of course, at the Open Mind Conference in Copenhagen, which was a great event, and your presentation was the first one of the weekend, and it was absolutely awesome, mate. It blew the audience away, and it was mind-blowing information. All the other speakers had, a high standard to measure up to, so just want to commend you for what you put forward in that.
Thank you very much for these kind words. But I think the overall level was very high. There was only one speaker where I was not too comfortable with, but all the other speakers, including you, were really high standard. So I think it indeed was a marvelous conference.
Well, it really was.
So they picked up over 30 million bags. Not scientists, but the homeless and the destitute and the victims of society and the immigrants who don't speak the language. 30 million bags. If you put each of these bags, 1-ton bags, in the back of a pickup truck, you circle the planet 5 times. Is that not something we've never seen before? Is that not something that is completely out of touch where scientists say there is no harm to the environment, how United Nations says no one's going to get harmed, how UNSCLEAR, ERPA, atomic agencies have all said there will be no health effects, but they cleaned up 30 million bags. 30 million! From 4 lousy buildings. But it's not an issue.
I was handling patient photos, and by chance the Mormon photo had been stored in the set of photos to be analyzed. When the Mormon photo appeared after the analysis, it was covered with detection marks, but I immediately discovered the shape of a human body behind the fence detected by the software. I opened the original Mormon photo, and by adjusting brightness and contrast, I suddenly found a right-handed shooter behind the picket fence on the grassy knoll, responsible for the headshot to President Kennedy's right temple. I knew right away that this would change the way we look at the JFK assassination.
Where do they come from? The yellow ones are the ones where the refugees come from, and if you lay over the NATO operations, it actually matches. I don't know which came first, but at least we know in the countries where NATO has had operations, there are refugees coming out.
The first thing you need to understand is that the 9/11 crime was not meant to be solved. The 9/11 crime was not even investigated as a crime. When I realized this as an investigative journalist back in 2001, I started turning my energies towards solving the crime, because there were certain aspects of the crime from the very beginning that were obviously being omitted. My credentials are basically that I was an investigative journalist working in Washington, D.C. in 2000. I remained in that position until 2006. And prior to that, I earned my degree in history. My specialty was the Middle East. My emphasis was on Israel and Palestine.